What's up, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of the blog. I'm India Sweet. Thank you so much for coming back and checking me out, or if you're new to the blog this week, hey. First and foremost, I would like to send my thoughts and prayers out to all of those affected in the mass shooting over at the Washington Navy Yard. As you know, I come to you right outside of Washington, D.C. The Navy Yard is maybe about 10 miles from where I am. So I just want to send out my thoughts and prayers to all of those that either lost their life or were affected, as well as all of their family members, because it's a very, very sad situation. There's really no easy way to transition to the blog, but we just got to do it, because what punks like this want is they want to steal your joy, they want to steal your laugh, they want to steal your smile. We're not going to let them do that. We're not going to let them win. Just like the Green Bay Packers didn't want to let the Redskins win yesterday, but we'll get there in a minute. A quick shout out. We have a lot of new followers actually to the blog, but just a couple of shout outs to a few of them. Ashley Thompson is one, as well as Skins Fans Only. Thank you so much for all the love, the retweets and everything. And to our newest, biggest follower and subscriber, which I'm so excited, is Eastern Motors, a car dealership here in Washington, D.C., and they do a lot with the Washington Redskins. So thank you so much for joining our little crazy group here and subscribing to the blog. Okay, so I guess I've put it off enough, and now we got to talk about the game. Leading up to it last week, everybody had so many different storylines, from RG3 not being ready, from our defense and our secondary, and it was just so many storylines because it was just so much wrong on Monday night. But my biggest one, right, was Kyle Forbath not being there and this Potter kid getting signed. And everybody's like, who is he? And when I saw his picture, I'm like, yo, I know that dude. And they're like, oh, for real? Like, what college did he go to? I'm like, I don't know what college he went to, but I know he was outside my Safeway, and he's always pushing the baskets from, the parking lot back to the thing. Like, I talk to him almost every day. We always talking about sports. And he's like, yeah, I'm always just a phone call away. And I'm like, no, you're not. He's like, yes, I am. And I'm like, no, you're not. And I'm like, oh, my God, I guess he was telling the truth. So I'm like, okay, is this a sign of things to come on Sunday morning, when they're saying this is the guy that's going to be kicking our field goals for the first time in his NFL career at Lambeau Field? That makes me feel good. So we went out there. Aaron Rodgers hit the field first. I was hoping our defense could hold it down until our offense could seemingly maybe get into a rhythm. At first, it was looking a little bit shaky, but Ryan Kerrigan had a couple of sacks on Aaron Rodgers, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe they can hold it down. Then our offense gets out there, and once again, they are so stagnant, they cannot get anything moving. RG3 could not seem to move outside the pocket at all, whether it was by design or whether he's just scared. I don't know. Alfred Morris could not seem to find any holes, so it was rough. Then Aaron Rodgers gets back out there, and he starts being who we thought he was. The Green Bay Packers start being who we thought they were. He don't get paid the big bucks for nothing, my friends, okay? Then before you know it, the first 19 minutes of the game, he has 200 yards. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is my fault. I got to start watching what I say in my mouth, because I forget, folks, that the opponents watch the blog too, so they can kind of get some game plan from me. I know, you're like, who is this chick? But I know a little bit, and so they kind of do. And if you weren't here last week, or maybe you don't remember, I did kind of open my mouth and kind of tell him what he should do. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd put it in the air every time, have about 537 yards. That's all I'm just saying. I'm not trying to give them a game plan to hurt us. It just is what it is. I know. I'm so sorry. I got to watch what I say out of my mouth, just like I do all the time, because, you never know who's looking. You never know who's watching. And the last thing I want to do is tell anybody what to do when they're against our team. But on a side note, if you got Megatron, I start him next week. That's just a tip. So before you know it, it was 10 points on the board, 17 points on the board, 24 points on the board, and it was just getting racked up. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. Like, we cannot build this big hole and expect our rehabbing quarterback and ununified offense to come back up here and put this many points on the board. RG3, once again, really could not seem to get anything going until the second half. And even then, he still just seemed unsteady sometimes. It was just a very difficult game to watch in so many different parts, and especially on the defense, when nobody could seem to tackle at all. I mean, I forgot to mention it last week, and I thought maybe just because it was the first game, so I kind of let it go. It's like guys don't seem to know how to tackle at all. They're running, jumping. People are jumping all over them, getting another 20, 30 yards. It's just like, woof, miss, miss, miss. It's like, come on now. Like, what are you doing? The whole game was just so sloppy, and it was just a mess from start to finish. It's so difficult. I really don't think RG3 is hurting right now physically. I think he's hurting more mentally, and I know on the sidelines it did not seem to be a very good relationship going on with him and baby Shani. Things seem to be very tense, almost seem to be like a little fussy at times. So unless they get on the same page, none of this is really going to work. They both have to learn how to trust each other, and I really don't know how RG3 trusts his baby Shani, because you know I don't. You know how I felt about that little punk. But that's for another story, for another time. Anyway, I just think it's just going to take him some time. And let's be honest. I know it was the Green Bay Packers and all, but they're good. They're really good. World Championship good. And I know y'all think we are, and we will be one day. We're just not yet. We're like recently good, okay? Like recently good, right? And so with that fact, I'm going to say this, and I don't want it to come out wrong, because I've been told I have like a little sharp tongue, and I can like bite sometimes. But to all you Redskins fans out there, I love you guys. You're my bread and butter, and that's why you're here. That's why you come back every week. So I thank you. But most of y'all dumb. I mean, y'all like flat out can't chew gum and walk at the same time idiots. And don't take it the wrong way. It's not your fault. I know we've been bad for so long, so you've been dumb for so long because we don't know how to be good, so you don't know how to be smart good, and you like dumb good right now because we like recently good. It made sense to me. I don't know about you, but it made sense to me. So all of you that are saying we need to sit RG3 and put in Kirk Cousins, you're an idiot. Go stick a bag on your head and stand in the corner, because I don't want to see your face, okay? You're an idiot. All he needs is a little bit more time to get his mental part of the game back. Physically, like I said, I believe he's fine. It's just mental at this point. And the only thing that's going to change that is if he goes out there and he plays. And another week, I think he'll be fine. Coming up next week, we have Detroit, which, you know, it's going to be a very interesting game to see the type of numbers that one Mr. Calvin Johnson puts up. But when I think about it, he's not even who I'm worried about the most. The person that I am worried about is Ndamukong Suh, because as we all know, unless you're a Detroit fan, even if you keep a real Detroit fan, he is the dirtiest guy in the league. I mean, he got fined week 1, okay? And big boy, if you think you're going to come after my quarterback and not have the repercussions, I will be at your door before you get off the plane. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, well, I got it like that. Anyway, I'm just hoping our offensive line can really make a stand, and really, I'd rather they let anybody else come off the corner than let him get anywhere near my quarterback. But I do think we'll actually get our first win on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. It'll be a very interesting game to watch, people, but I think we're going to start trying to right the ship at that game. Third game of the season, RG3 says he knows what's wrong, and all he has to do is go out there and fix it. So I think he will. Now, at the end of the game, I know many people turned it off, but Troy Aikman said something a little fishy, a little funny. He made a comment about, oh, the Green Bay Packers are taking the Washington Redskins behind the shed and whipping them. I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, what he just say, Punchy? I know he didn't say what I thought he just said. So I took a minute, I rewinded, and yeah, he did. I'm like, okay, I know you might be a cowboy, and I know you're not the brightest tool in the shed, but dude, you can't say that. That's just a little bit racist. I know, I don't think you meant it like that. Watch what you say out your mouth, Troy, because don't make me rip this weave out my head, go all Harriet Tubman on you, okay? I'm too cute for that. Anyway, until next week, Redskin Nation, thanks so much for tuning into the blog. If you like it, share it, retweet it, send it out there. I'm on Twitter at IndoSweet Sports, Instagram India, and Facebook India Sweet. So check me out. Until next week, Redskin Nation, out.